Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings be upon you, dear brothers and sisters. Today is the 25th day of the holy month of Ramadan. Sadly, with grief and sorrow, in less than 5 days, in about 5 days, we have to bid farewell to this beautiful feast of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the believers. We have to bid farewell to this month of Ubudiyah, to this month of dedicating a more specific time for worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today is the 25th day and we have less than 5 more days to reconnect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make sure we used every remaining second of this month, inshallah. The dua of the 25th day, as we said from the beginning, these du'as are being sorted in a way that it's as if you're gradually growing, you're gradually developing your spirituality throughout the days of the month of Ramadan. It says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma ja'alni fihim muhibban la'awliyaik. O Allah, on this day, make me among those who love your friends. Wa mu'adiyan la'a'da'ik, and hate your enemies. Mustannatan bisunnati khatam anbiya'ik, following the way of your last prophet. Ya asama qulubin nabiyyin, O the guardian of the hearts of the prophets. One of the very important points of this part of the dua, or the dua of this day, is that on the very beginning phrase, we request Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us hubb, to grant us the love of those who are the true lovers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who are the true friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who are the true servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the true slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the same time, on the contrary, we ask the other side of the matter. We limit. We say, Oh Allah, grant us the love of your true believers and the hatred and animosity of your enemies. These two never get combined together. According to the holy verse number 4 of Surah 33, Surah Al-Ahzab, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ما جعل الله لرجل من قلبين في جوفه. Allah has never made any man with 2 hearts inside him. You can't love Imam al-Hussein and at the same time love the Yazid. You can't love Amir al-Mu'mineen but at the same time be satisfied with injustice. You can't love our Imam of time yet be okay with the status of the world right now, with the current contemporary issues that are going on in the world, and be like, okay, I'm satisfied with what's going on, and I have no stand against nothing, but at the same time I love Imam of our time. When we say, oh Allah, give us the hubb and the love of your awliya, what we exactly mean is that let our hearts be filled with the consequences of those actions that would lead me to love your true friends, your true servants, your awliya, the Ahlul Bayt, the Holy Prophet. The love, the concept of love, as the statement that we have, Halid Deen al Hub, is deen, is the religion, anything but hope. The concept of love and hatred is something that is a consequence of our actions and deeds. Probably you have observed it and you have witnessed it in your own lives. Other people facing this, or unfortunately us experiencing it ourselves. I love Imam al-Hussein. I love Muharram. I start disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I start insisting, God forbid, on a certain sin, on a certain act of crime, Islamically. What happens is, at some point I start not loving Imam al-Hussein anymore. I used to go to Muharram's programs previous years, but right now, after X amount of years, the Muharram comes and I don't feel like going anywhere. I don't feel even the sorrow of Muharram. Month of Ramadan comes, I don't even feel like I want to fast. Why? Because heart is under the influence of our actions. Our soul is under the influence of our actions. We do good, our hearts will be inclined towards good. We act upon what the evil inside us orders us, the nafs al-ammara orders us, then our heart starts getting heavy and darkened, so that we don't like the awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any believer, any mu'min that we see, we want to stay away from. We want to refrain from going to the masjid. We want to refrain from prayers or doing the wajibat. God forbid, staying away from Ahlul Bayt. And at the same time, we start loving the enemies. If I see someone who is not acting according to the wajibat of Islam, who is not observing the basics of Islam, and in fact oppressing and displaying and demonstrating oppositions to the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I don't feel anything about it, then there's a problem inside me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fills the hearts of the believers with love. Allahumma ja'alni fihim muhibban la'awliyaik. And at the same time, mu'adiyan la'a'daik. If my love is true, if my faith is strong, then I should love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and whoever loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the path of truth. And I should hate whoever stands against it. Mustannatan bisunnati khatam anbiyaik. This is the lifestyle of the Rasulullah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore we ask on this day, following the way of your last prophet, Ya asima qulub an-nabiyin. In the book Sahifa Sajjadiyah, which we recite some of its du'as on these nights, we have a beautiful du'a. It says, Allahumma as'aluka hubbak. Oh Allah, I ask you to grant me your love. وَحُبَّ مَنْ يُحِبُّكَ. And love of whoever that loves you. وَحُبَّ كُلَّ عَمَلٍ يُوصِلُنِي إِلَيْكَ. And love and devotion towards any acts that make me reach to you, that leads me to be a better servant of you. يُوصِلُنِي إِلَىٰ قُرْبِكَ. It leads me to seeking nearness and a proximity to you. So that's what we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya asima qulubin nabiyyin. Oh, the guardian of the hearts of the prophets. Birahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.